Hey guys, so this is just a quick video to show you the updated firmware. We'll just skip down. So there you go, that's what we're on now. A few people have asked about the filament loading seems to have gone off the menu. Well, that's because they've made it automatic. So let's just see if this will actually work. First thing we need to do actually is, you can't see, but the end of this filament, because it won't focus, is in a right state. So the first thing we're going to do is just cut that filament as we're instructed to that nice sharp pointy angle, so it goes into the tubing correctly. So if we just now offer that up like so, you'll hear an audible beep, and then that's now feeding that in. I can actually feel that pulling through, so that is now loading the filament. So that auto loads, so you don't need to keep looking at the menu to see where it is, because it's doing it automatically now. So that's the first thing. Now I thought we'll just go back down to here, see if we can get it to focus again. This is the one issue with going back to this camera, is getting it to focus. So I thought we'd do a couple of tests. So we'll just have a look, something simple. We'll go for that. We're not going to print it all. I just want to show you how and what it does. I wonder if I could just zoom you out a little. I don't know where we're sitting at the moment. There we go. Now, people have complained about noise levels and such since this new piece of firmware. I'll be honest with you, it's not absolutely silent, but my goodness, it's a lot better than most things. And the biggest thing to take from this is if you could see what I've got on my desk around here, you would understand that most of the noise you get is actually vibration from other stuff that you've got on the table. It's not, I didn't clean that nozzle up very well, did I? It's not anything to do with the printer itself, it's other things you've got on the desk, which seem to be having the issue with making the noises. I moved some things off the desk and all of a sudden half the noise disappeared. So yeah, don't be taken in by the fact that you think your printer's noisy. Find the screwdrivers or the pairs of pliers or the bits of radio gear that happen to be on the same surface that are actually doing the vibrating. So all I wanted you to show you really was these things that made us buy the printer and that people have been having issues with, and to show them that with this firmware we seem to have got somewhere more towards them actually working. I know some people have had problems with them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be evil, and I'm just going to come in there and I'm going to cut it. So this is the first thing people have been having trouble with, was the fact that it wouldn't unload the filament after you got to this stage. It detected it was out, but then it wouldn't actually pass the filament back through. I think what was happening was it was getting too far beyond the filament detector and going beyond the end of the tubing, so when you tried to push it out, it wouldn't come out because it was in the way. It was out of alignment, let's say. So we'll just let that run through the filament detector. That will then realise that, hopefully it'll realise that we've run out of filament now, and it will tell me so. So we'll just wait for it to run through. It does take a while because that filament is going through awfully slowly. Right, there we go, look. It's come down, and look, it says, if I can get it to focus, press the knob to unload filament. So we'll press the knob and we'll look at that. And there's your filament. So it comes out now, no issues at all. It then says, repeat unloading filament. So if it hasn't come out, do we need to unload some more? So we click no, because it's already out, came out straight away. Now I now need to find the end of my filament, which is humped back onto the reel. So you'll have to bear with me while I get jiggly camera angles, while I find the end of my filament. Now you saw I cut it at a nice angle, so I know it'll feed back in fairly easily. Where are we? Oh, there we are. So, ooh, awful focus. You heard it beep again. Now the problem there is I haven't got it lined up with the hole. So now I can feel that's taken the filament. I can feel it pulling through my fingers. So that's now reloading the filament. I doubt I'm going to get this into focus down here, but we'll try. Now what it doesn't do is it doesn't wipe itself. So I always suggest that while it's doing this, if you can, it's now asked me if the filament's changed correctly. I can now say to it, no, the filament hasn't loaded. So what it does now is it just had to grab a bit to get it through the gears. Then don't worry about that. That's, you know, completely normal. As you can see, that is now well and truly loading the filament. You get that nice little tower. Like I was saying, it doesn't clear the filament. Ooh. So I go to the lengths of doing that. Right, so now it says to me, so this is the menu I didn't show you last time, but I should have done. So it says, has it done correctly? And we can go yes this time because it has. So as you can see, to get the temperatures right, it's gone back to the print and it's carried on. So, excuse me, there we go. There's no issue there with the running out of filament. Worked an absolute treat. Changed it up beautifully and it's carried on printing without any issues at all. So the next thing we'll do is this skip detect thing. Now I've seen people grab hold of the head and push it this way or push it that way. Really, that's not what it's trying to detect. It's trying to detect if it's hit the print. So the best way of doing that, the way that Jersey Prusa suggests that you do it, is actually grab hold of this bar to stop it from being able to go this direction or that direction. So what I'll do is I'll wait till you get to the end of this side of the print, and it'll, hopefully I think it'll probably shoot over that way. No, it's going to go back slowly. So what I'll do is I'll put my hand there, and hopefully in a minute it's going to attempt to come back. And there we go. So it sensed it. It's gone back. And away it goes, continues to print. So it just carries on where it left off. Sorry, this focus is not doing very well at all, is it? But there you go, you see it's just carried on what it was doing, no problem at all. So that crash detection there works a treat, no problems with that, carries on printing. So the last one is the power outage one. So if you just bear with me, I'll just get the camera in the right position. So you can't see it, but I'm going to pull the plug. Okay, so here we are, happily printing, flames from the sky, whatever. Now, I don't know whether you saw that, that just lifted the head slightly as it ran out of power. That's all gone off. So now we'll reposition some power, like so. Flashed up sorting files, disappeared off. Now there is a very, very small spot on the print. So that may cause an issue. I don't know whether you can get in to see that. Let me see if I can zoom you into. Ooh. There is a very, very, very small spot. You can't see it because it won't focus, but it's there somewhere. But there is a very small spot on the work. But it is absolutely tiny. My camera work is awful, isn't it? But yeah, so what it's doing now is it's heating the bed, it's going back to the print, it's going back down, and it's continuing. Now, I've not wiped the nozzle. Like I say, there was a small spot on the print, and I've done nothing to it. I don't know whether you can see, but it's just continuing. Now, of course, if you're 9/10 of the way through printing a dragon or something, I haven't tried that yet, to see whether that actually works, but I can't imagine it'll be any different. It just carries on. So this new firmware seems to have solved some of those issues that people were having. I mean, you know, it's still a work in process. Like I've said before, it's a work in progress. People have complained that they feel that they haven't got a polished, finished product. They've got, you know, something that takes some nurturing, let's say, and doesn't do all it was supposed to out of the box. Well, we pushed to get this machine. We kept moaning that he hadn't released it. And there are a few bugs and there are a few things to iron out, but they're going for it. You know, they're trying to iron it out. They're trying to make things better, and they've worked all over Christmas. I've had emails from support. In fact, I actually got one on Christmas Day, believe it or not, from support for a little issue I was having, which was entirely my own fault. But we'll gloss over that. But yeah, so that's the new firmware. That shows you how it automatically loads now. It also shows you that power outage works, the filament sensor works, and the crash detection works if you do it right. You know, 99 times out of 100 it's going to be a situation like that where something jams it and it'll recover, which is absolutely ideal. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, find me on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at some point in the future.